Welcome to 108 Gate. This is energy reading for today, or when you come to this video. There was a previous video and there was just constriction and restriction vibes coming up. The energy was around that, was about opening our mind, opening our perspectives of things so that we don't limit and restrict ourselves. But then in the process of that, what happens when we start realizing that we have actually limited and restricted ourselves? So we have the otter and cattail. So there you go. Peace. That was actually in the last one. So there was a third one that came out. So we're on the same track. Bringing in peace, bringing in calm. Interesting. Okay. And bringing in that prosperity from a higher evolution of the intelligence, a higher space of the emotion. So what I mean by that is making sure that we're doing things in a way that's ethical. We're making sure that we're doing things that are considered. We're doing it in a way that we're making sure that we are putting ourselves as a priority. This doesn't mean that we are running roughshod over people or that we're being inconsiderate of people. It's just a matter of having to be creative with what we're stepping forward towards, what we're stepping forward into, because there are some things that are needing for us to adjust our boundaries, adjust our perspectives. So if we think about going into the Uranus in Taurus and Jupiter is edging towards Uranus, that conjunction is getting stronger, then that means that Uranus is definitely there supporting our ability to identify where we need things to be either obliterated or created. So really, really honing in on this energy and utilising it in a way that's going to benefit us building new boundaries, and also seeing where we didn't have boundaries before or where our boundaries have been kind of compromised. So the Jupiter in Uranus is definitely going to be supporting that. Equally, it's going to be supporting us building something. Equally, it's going to be supporting us growing and expanding intentionally in the directions that we want to go. So definitely honing in on that. Any of you who've got that meditation practice, definitely making sure that you're focusing on that which is serving you, that which is working in your favor, because it's amplifying whatever you think of. You thinking about things in your favor, I'm going to keep it that direction, is going to amplify those things that are in your favor. So it's up to you. It's your decision on where you focus. You've got to decide which one you're more willing and able to live with the consequences of. Wow, that was a vibe for sure. The Hare and the Oak, new opportunities. This one came out too, so this is interesting that they're still coming out regardless of doing the reading a second time. So, new opportunities. If your head, this definitely, okay, let's get us, I'm going to put one here just as a counter, but I don't really want to put it there. So, purification. Okay, so the trout and the lily of the valley. So definitely the counter energy of this is there are energies that need purifying. There are spaces that need purification. Letting that purification in, because the process of that means that the peace will come and the new opportunities therefore can have a space to form. The new opportunities have a space to kind of show themselves and glimmer in the light and glimmer in the dark, glimmer in, just hold your attention basically, instead of kind of looking for the opportunities and they're just going by and not being noticed. So it's definitely a feeling of you need to make sure you're taking that time to slow down to see where the actual opportunities are. And these opportunities aren't obvious. They're not like someone knocking on the door and saying, would you like to be part of this this new job, or would you be wanting to do this new group activity? It's more subtle than that. It's the opportunity within yourself to change. It's the opportunities within yourself to make those differences, to make those decisions and choices which are in favour of you, which are in favour for you. We have the Six of Cups here. So normally the Six of Cups is with that nostalgia. I'm feeling as though the Six of Cups right now have got the 3 cups that you've built as a foundation, and then you've got the 3 additional cups, which now you are stacking. I talk about the stacking of the cups, the stacking of the opportunities quite often. It's been coming up as an energy quite recently, quite often. So stacking those opportunities up, seeing that there's some opportunities that you took, you utilised and made your own, and they now lay as a stronger foundation for where you're heading, where you are embracing more of yourself. So to really, really feel into your own path, feel into your own direction, feel into what do I need, not what do I have to tolerate, not what do I have to subject myself to, not what do I have to kind of squish myself into. We've already done that. We've already been there. So that's the actual purification aspect of that. We need to purify ourselves of thinking that we have to suffer, purifying ourselves of thinking that we have to be struggling or in difficult situations. We want ease. The peace is what's going to bring in the new opportunities. The peace and the ease is going to be what brings in the harmony, to better then identify what's happening, better identify what's for our higher good, better identify, there we go, I could feel it coming, the 3 of Cups, stacking up those opportunities, stacking up those emotional lessons we have been learning, stacking up those things that are in our favour, the 3 of Cups, making sure that we're being loving towards self, we're being kind and compassionate to self. And what feels really strong also right now is, are we being honest with ourselves when we're asking about what do we want, what do we need? That's really important to establish that and to make that as a point of what do I want and what do I need? Have you been good at asking for what you want or need, or have you just been compromising? Have you been dealing with, well, this is what I've got, this is what I'll settle with, and I'll squish into settling with that? Or have you expanded yourself, utilised this Jupiter going to Uranus, and really think about what do I want? What do I need for my long-term plan, for my long-term goals, for my long-term sustainable lifestyle? What do I need? What do I want? Your heart needs to kind of catch up with those things. And then your emotions need to catch up, and then your thinking patterns and your behaviour patterns need to catch up. So there's a lot of different things that are going in for this purification process, which is feeling quite liberating, but also inspiring. So we've got the 9 of Wands here. If we keep holding on to that energy of we need to struggle, we need to suffer, we need to battle through this, that's what you're going to be amplifying. So then you are the only one who can thank yourself when you've got more battles and struggles ahead of you. Do you really want that, or is it because you're used to that pattern, you're used to that that structure, you're used to that kind of response, or anticipating that you're going to have something to fight against, anticipating that there's going to be a problem? It's not going to be favourable right now. So really, really utilising the purification to shift that mindset, shift that perspective of things. There you go. So more to do with I'm prepared. Now is more to do with I'm prepared. Should anyone come along and try me, I'll know what to do. Should anyone come along and test my boundaries, or test me, or test this, or test that, I'll know how to respond. I know I can protect myself. I know that I need to be the one who makes these changes. And the 7 of Swords here, like I've said before, she's left 2 in there. Don't take things for granted. Just because things are moving forward, don't take it for granted that it's dealt with. Don't take it for granted that it's all seen to, because those things are the kind of things that let you get hurt before. Those are the kind of things that allowed you to be subjected to things that you don't want to be experiencing again. There's a level of complacency over here. So if you're over here, you definitely don't want to be complacent. If you're in the feed more so over here, or heading towards this place, you've really got to be diligent in protecting what you need and what you want. You've really got to be honest with what do I need and want, and focus on that. If you're compromising anything at this point, you're going to kind of, it could be possibly compromised for a long time afterwards. So you don't want to be compromising those things that you've already compromised and you didn't feel happy about it. Think about, what do I want? Think about, what do I need? And if you haven't got an answer yet, open your heart and mind to actually let that answer in. 3 of Wands, looking out to the future, looking out to those things that you haven't yet discovered about yourself, looking out to those things that you haven't yet discovered about the world or in the world. And what I mean by that is those emotions you haven't quite felt yet. If you haven't had that elation of actually feeling safe, you haven't had that emotion of actually feeling secure in a deeper level or at a deeper level, allow those things to come in, because those are the things that then provide a space, a fallow ground where things can be sown, where things can be grown. Without that, there's nowhere for something to thrive. You haven't got the thoughts, you haven't got the space for the thoughts to thrive into something else and transmute into something else. So you definitely want to utilize the greatness of what's going on. So here we go again. Purification from these energies. Like I said before, they're not going to be obvious. I have a feeling we're going to have a few readings with this vibe right now. Purification from patterns, purification from habits, purification of, and when I say habits, I mean it's just a habitual response to certain things that I'm the one to go back down. And it's not saying that you've got to go in with conflict. It's about getting that win-win situation. It's about not compromising everything, but making a compromise that works for yourself. If you don't have to compromise it at all, then why would you? Sometimes we just get into that pattern of compromising before we've even been asked to, because we just kind of there lay self bare to be used and utilised by others. And it's like, well, actually they weren't asking you to do that. You've just kind of done that yourself. So being really careful with how we're interacting with the world and how we're allowing it to interact with us. There we go. Stepping forward from a different perspective. We need to go through that purification. We need to go through that awareness of where we need to clean things out, flush things out. Excuse me. Making those shifts and changes. I'm going to get another card for there because it feels really loaded. You need to be building in awareness of where do I step forward? How do I step forward? So this has to be addressed. It has to be understood that. Okay, so yesterday, if you haven't seen yesterday's reading, it's the one before this one in the daily readings playlist. So this one was saying, about how things are getting kind of reversed. So internal becomes external, external becomes internal, going forward becomes backward, and backward becomes forward. It's all like, it's the Mercury retrograde energy on some level, but it's also things that weren't, it's like course correction also. So things that weren't in the correct direction, they weren't going in the correct format or the structure, those things are kind of allowing themselves to be crumbling down. So don't hold them up, let them crumble down. And as that's coming through, it's going to be, this energy is coming through as in, like, sometimes when we stand up for ourselves or we do something that's important to us, others may perceive that as a lower vibe. Others may perceive that as something where we're not giving ourselves away to them anymore. So they're kind of like, oh, you know what, you're not actually being kind to me, you're not being good to me. So it's a matter of making sure that you're not falling into that trap yourself of, I'm a bad person because I'm not doing this or that. I'm a bad person because I haven't cooked a certain meal for certain long. I don't know what it is, but something you haven't done or something you're not willing to do anymore is making sure that you're seeing the positives of it. I'm not doing that anymore because then if I do that, I can't move forward here. Therefore, I have to make sure that I'm being diligent here. I don't start self-flagellation. I don't start blaming myself. I don't start going into the guilt. I don't go into the self-blaming and all that stuff. I don't allow others to blame me. I don't allow others to make me feel guilty or anything like that. I'm just sticking to this. And I know I'm building something. So to build something, what do I need to do? To build something, how do I need to conduct myself? To move from A to B, or from A1 to A2 to A3 to B, how do I need to conduct myself? How do I need to move forward? What do I need to conserve? And what do I need to let go of? So I'm going to wrap that up there because it's quite a convoluted deep dive. It might not sound like it. You might want to listen to it again because there is a lot going on there. But for now, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and hit that bell so you get subsequent readings. And the April readings are in their individual playlists. So I highly recommend you look at your natal chart. So there's astro.com does a good natal chart, and literally just check out where you are, because there's so much going on at the moment. It's quite something. So yes, with that, for now, peace and love.